Hello friends, welcome and thanks so much for joining me today. I'm excited today to focus on a topic that's been specifically requested by several people: how to create several different eyeshadow looks using one great all matte eyeshadow palette. One of the reasons I'm so excited to share this information with you today is that I think for those of us with mature skin who are over 50, over 60, over 70 and beyond, eyeshadow can get tricky for several reasons. First, for many of us, the skin around our eyes has definitely changed, making it more challenging to easily blend in eyeshadows. Second, the way we used to apply eyeshadow may not work as well for us now due to other issues such as hooded eyes. And third, it just may be that our eyesight is not quite as good as it was a couple of decades ago, so blending the eyeshadow can be more of a challenge. That's certainly the case for me. So to make eyeshadow application both faster and easier for those of us over 50, it's very helpful to use an eyeshadow that is highly pigmented and blends in almost effortlessly. And it's not always easy to find matte eyeshadows that are both pigmented and easy to blend. Sometimes blending mattes together can definitely create a patchy look if the mattes are really not very good quality. So today we're going to use one very good quality all matte eyeshadow palette to create 4 different eyeshadow looks. And if you find this type of video helpful, I hope you'll let me know if you'd like me to do 4 different eyeshadow looks with a few other good quality eyeshadow palettes. If you're new to this channel, a special welcome to you. My name is Elise and I'm a professional working makeup artist who absolutely loves helping those of us who are over 50, like myself, look like the very best version of ourselves so we can look and feel our confident best. When it's safe to do so, I teach in-person makeup classes, I do individual makeup consultations, and I often speak to women's groups. And now, during this somewhat crazy time that we're all living through, I love doing one-on-one Zoom makeup consultations and classes. I hope you'll join me every Thursday for a new video here on YouTube, and I also hope you'll subscribe and join our really wonderful family of viewers. There's some great women here. All you need to do is hit that red subscribe button, and if you also hit the bell icon below the video and to the right, you'll automatically be notified when a new video is available. And I thank you so very much if you decide to do so. So without delay, let's get to our topic. Since I had some requests to focus on one specific eyeshadow palette, which I'd mentioned as being one of my favorites in a previous video, I'm going to be creating 4 looks with the All Matte 12-pan Dark Mattes palette from Viseart. So a shout out and thank you to Doreen and Marcia for suggesting this Viseart palette. This is just one of Viseart's 7 different 12-pan All Matte eyeshadow palettes. They make a neutral matte palette with much lighter colors, a warm matte palette, 2 different cool matte palettes, an editorial brights palette, and they've recently come out with a second neutral matte palette called Neutral Matte Milieu. I think they may have discontinued their first cool matte palette. So I'm going to be showing you a picture of all these palettes, but you'll only be seeing one of the cool matte palettes, and also I won't be showing you the palette that we're actually using today, the Dark Mattes palette. So first you can see the Viseart neutral palette as well as the warm palette. And again, these are all matte palettes. In the second row, you can see the cool matte palette and then the Viseart neutral milieu palette, their most recent one. And finally, this last palette is their editorial brights palette. This is the Dark Mattes palette, which we'll be using today. And let me give you a closer look at the colors. Now let me say up front that these all matte 12-pan eyeshadow palettes from Viseart are expensive palettes, and unfortunately they rarely seem to go on sale. Each one of these palettes costs $80. But as I mentioned earlier, they are exceptional quality eyeshadows. If you put 2 of these mattes next to each other, they almost seem to seamlessly blend into each other without any help whatsoever. And you barely have to put any product on your brush to get amazing color payoff. And since you need to use so little of the color, these colors will last for a very long time. And the color you see in the palette is the color that you'll see on your eyes, which isn't always the case with eyeshadows. But there's no question that this is a lot of money for an eyeshadow palette. But the good news is that they've started making smaller palettes. Let me show you one of their Petite Pro 5 palettes called Soleil, which has 8 smaller pans of eyeshadow. Here's what it looks like on the outside. And then here are the gorgeous colors on the inside. This palette normally costs $30, but I luckily did get it on sale over the holidays. And this next palette is one of their palettes called Rosé Edit, which has 12 smaller pans of eyeshadow and costs $39. As you'll be able to see, their smaller palettes are a mix of mattes and shimmer or metallic formulas, and these smaller palettes are more likely to go on sale. Here's the Rosé Edit palette, and this is what it looks like. All of the pans in these palettes from Viseart are magnetized, so each pan can be taken out of the whole palette, and so you can actually create your own palette. And by the way, I wanted to let you know that I am wearing the Rosé Edit palette right now. So let's get into our 4 all matte looks with the Viseart Dark Mattes palette. In the first look, I'll be using cool and warm tones together, browns and oranges. For the second look, I'm going to be dipping into 2 complementary colors, blue and orange. And our third look combines 2 analogous colors, blue and purple. And the fourth and final look is another analogous color combination of blue and green. And just because of how dark these colors are, I won't be using very much of any of them. And I'll also be using my old standby Laura Geller's French Vanilla color as a lighter color to go with it. So I'm going to go ahead and take off my current eye makeup that I'm wearing, and I'll be right back and we'll start with the first look. I took all my eye makeup off, as you can tell, and I did put back on some eyeshadow primer. So unfortunately, there are no names to these colors in these palettes, so I'll try and describe the colors that I'm using as we go along. I'm going to start off with the very lightest brown color in this palette, which is really more of a medium brown tone, and it's more on the cool side. So I'm going to start in my crease area, about the middle of the crease, and I took just a tiny bit on my brush, and as you can see, I'm getting color payoff right away. These truly are amazing eyeshadows. They have such color payoff, and they blend so easily. Now, as you can tell, I'm going across, straight across, so I can help lift my eye area. And then I've used most of the color from my brush, so as a result of that, I have very little color left on my brush, so I'm just going to take what's left and gently go up toward my eyebrow, just so I have a soft diffusion of color, sort of a gradation of that brown going up. Now you can certainly tell the difference between these 2 eyes with and without eyeshadow. We're certainly getting a little bit more delineation and emphasis on the eye with the eyeshadow on this eye. Now I could go with just this look. This is certainly a very natural look. I'm going to add, however, a little bit of a touch of orange to it, so I'm getting both a cool and a warm color combination. I'm also going to deepen it a little bit for a little bit more dramatic look. Take this from a more natural daytime look to more of an evening look. And to do that, I'm going to take a darker brown shadow and I'm going to put that in the outer backward 7 of my eye, or outer V area as it's called. I like to refer to it as a backward 7 because that's basically the shape that I'm creating by going across and then down. So I'm first taking a pencil brush, which will allow me to create a more detailed area of color. There's both a light and a dark orange. I'm combining them and putting just a little bit on my brush, tapping it off, and then I'm going to add it just, oh, you can see, oh my goodness, with just a little bit, I actually am getting a lot of color payoff. Don't worry, we are going to blend this, which will make a huge difference. I'm now going to take my blending brush and just go over this. This is my product from Laura Geller, which is a duo, a highlighter duo, of both a matte color and a color with some shimmer in it. I'm going to take the matte color, which is French Vanilla, and I'm going to take a tiny little brush like this, and I'm just going to put a little bit of that matte color right under the arch of my eyebrow. I'm also going to take a little bit of that color and put it in the inner corner of my eye, just to lighten up that area. I'm also going to take a little bit and go underneath my eye to lighten that area. And then I'm taking a little bit of that vanilla and I'm just blending the outer edges of that orange, just so it looks seamless. Next, I'm going to take a denser, flatter brush and I'm going to take the deepest brown color, and then I'm just going to stamp that color on the outer part of my lid and also up into the crease and create that backward 7. I'm going to take my blending brush and blend that out, both on my lid and above my lid. And again, I'm taking what's left on my brush and going up toward my brow. I'm putting a little bit of the Laura Geller French Vanilla on the inner part of my lid to lighten that area up, and then blend it into that outer area where it's a little bit darker. The second look I want to create is a blue and orange combination. Now that may sound a little bit startling, and it is when you first take a look at it, but these are complementary colors and they really do provide some wonderful definition to the eye area and give it a little bit more of a boost with those two different colors. Let's go ahead and give it a try. I'm just going to use a little bit of that lightest brown as my base color, just to get a little bit going on my crease area on this eye. As you can see, as I blend it up, I get a much lighter version of this color, and that's exactly what I want to do. It always looks more beautiful to have a gradation of color like that. And now I'm going to take the dense, shorter brush that I used on the dark brown color on the other eye, and I'm going to use this for the darkest blue color from this palette. This palette actually has 2 blues, and I'm going to take the darkest blue color. And then I'm going to add just a little bit of that blue right here. As you can see, I don't have much on, and there's so much color payoff that it's coming off pretty strong. Just adding a little bit of that into the backward 7 area. It's all about blending. I take a little bit of my French vanilla and I'm going to put that on the lid area. I'm going to take it over so I'm blending in the edge of that blue as well. Then I'm going to take my very small brush, use that to put a little bit of the French vanilla under the arch of my brow and on the inner corner of my eye. And underneath my eye area. Do a little bit more blending just around the edges. And now I'm going to take a very small pointed pencil brush, take a tiny bit of the deeper orange color, just a bit, put it right in that crease area. And a slight bit above too. And then I'm going to do some blending. Now obviously you could go with just this, but just as I did with the other eye, I'm going to make the blue a little bit stronger so we have a little bit more of a dramatic look. And then I'm going to use the French vanilla just to go around the outer edges and again to make that really blend in seamlessly. Also going to clean up the edge. It's important so we have a line going up, so we want to clean off everything below that line. So you can see it's mostly blue, but there is that touch of orange. We could make that a little bit more dramatic. I think I'm going to add just a tiny bit more orange to bring that color back just a bit. As you can see, adding a little bit of that orange back in just adds a little bit more of a dramatic touch to that eye area. All right, we need to finish up with some eyeliner and some mascara, and I'll do that and I'll be right back. So I've gone ahead and added eyeliner and mascara so you can see the final look with these two eyeshadow colors. So now I'm going to go ahead and remove this eyeshadow and we'll go on to our final two looks. Now we're going to go ahead with our two last looks, which are both analogous colors. We'll start off with the purple and blue, and then we'll move into the green and blue. Once again, I'm going to start off with just a little bit of that lightest brown color as my base. Then I think I'm going to add my French vanilla now. Don't have to do it in any particular order. You can do the crease first or the lid first. And then I'm going to go ahead with the purple. Now this is not a royal purple. This is more of just a deep toned purple. Wow, that is that is a lot of color payoff. I'm going to basically stamp on some of this purple along the outer edge. Then I'm going to do some blending. I got a little bit of fallout here. Just going to pick it up with a wipe. This is why you do your eye makeup before you put on the rest of your makeup. So again, this would be a nice look as is. It's just a light dusting of that purple and a little bit of the brown in the crease prior to that. But we're going to make it a little bit more dramatic, and I'm going to add some blue. And I'm going to add back in a little bit of purple so we don't lose that. And that's getting a little bit dark, so we're going to blend it in so we get the kind of color we want to get. I'm going to take my French vanilla, do a final run over the lid and around the edges of the blue and the purple. Again, just to make it all look seamless. And a tiny bit of that French vanilla up under the arch of the brow and on the inner corner. And a final sweep over it all with the French vanilla. The other eye, we're going to go with green and blue. Again, analogous colors. We'll start off with that lightest brown in the crease area, just to lay down our first color. And I really love the way this brown blends out. It just, as you can see, it just effortlessly goes into that lighter shade. So we first put the color right in the crease with the most color payoff from the eyeshadow, and then as we have less eyeshadow on the brush, we gradually build it up toward the brow, and as you can see, we get a really lovely gradation going from darker to lighter. I really like that look just as it is. Now we're going to go ahead and add in the green color. I want the green to be the dominant color, which is why I'm going in with it first. As you can see, it's a deep pine kind of green. And again, I'm going to bring it up more toward my brow now that I have less eyeshadow on my brush. And I think I'm going to make it a little bit deeper. And we'll stamp some on that outer lid. So we have a nice continuation of color. Now I think you can really see what that green is looking like. But we have some blending to do. And we want to add in that touch of blue. I really can't get over how effortlessly these colors blend into each other, and there's no splotchiness or patchiness whatsoever. Now I'm going to go in with my French vanilla. And you can see how that's lightening up the green on the eyelid area and around the edge, which is exactly what I want to happen. I really love those colors together. They're gorgeous. Now, do get a little bit of fallout, but really not that much. Okay, I think you can see what that is looking like. Now I think you can get a look at both eyes. As you can see, I've added eyeliner and mascara to both eyes, and I've used the Viseart eyeshadow to create the eyeliner. Let me give you one final look. As you can see, this look is far more dramatic, and I did want to create a little bit stronger look with this particular green color. So I thought it might be helpful to take a look at the color swatches of these colors so you can see all the colors that are in the palette, since we only used a few of them. So that's it for today's demonstration. I hope you found this information in the demonstration helpful, and if so, please give this video a thumbs up. And if you have a friend who also might find the videos on this channel helpful or interesting, I hope you'll share this video with her as well. I'd so appreciate your help in spreading the word. And I'd also love to know which of these looks you like the best, so please let me know your favorites in the comments section below. Please also let me know if you'd like me to do any more of these types of videos. Thank you so much for giving me the gift of your time today. I so appreciate it. And I hope you stay happy and healthy and have an absolutely fabulous rest of your day.